I want to share something very personal. For as long as I can remember, my dream was to compete in the Olympics for track and field, but it didn't go the way I planned. Today I want to share that story, not just about failing, but what I discovered along the way that made the journey worth it. Let's go back to 2016 for a second. Watching the Rio Olympics reminded me how much I love track and field and made me want to chase my Olympic dream again. I started hurling as a kid, but I gave it up when I was 19 because of self-doubt and the pressure to find a career path. But this time though, I was ready to give it one more shot. In my first year back, I made huge progress and drastically improved my time. Back in 2009, I ran 16:19 in the 110 meter hurdles. But within the first year, I brought my time down to 14:98, shaving off 1.21 seconds. Seeing that progress made me believe that I could get down to 13:32 in 3 years. Heading into my second year, I was hungrier than ever to run faster and qualify for nationals. I ran 14:43, which is half a second faster basically, and it was enough to earn me a spot at nationals. There I was racing alongside Olympians, Damian Warner, Jonathan Cabral, people I had admired for years. I made it to the finals and finished 8th. 8th in the country. For a moment, it really felt like the dream was within reach. But then everything started to fall apart. Injuries came out of nowhere and it really hit me hard. Eventually, I figured out what was causing the injuries and managed to bounce back. But by then I was really behind schedule, leaving me with only half a year left to make it all happen. When the Tokyo Olympics was announced that it was being pushed back a year, it felt like a second chance. Then the Olympic trials for Tokyo came and I ran slower than ever. It was really disappointing. I think I ran like 15 seconds. Even then I told myself I'd give it one more shot for Paris and then I'll hang up the cape. So I made the big decision to move to Calgary. Why Calgary? Well, there was a better training situation. We had an indoor facility, unlike Vancouver, where we had to train outdoors in the cold and rain all year round. I was hopeful that this setup would help me reach my goals faster. I took on a full-time job to pay the bills, but that brought its own challenges. The stress and lack of sleep started to take a toll, but I kept pushing, trying my best to balance everything. Unfortunately, during those 2 years of training, I had some setbacks, including accidents where I fell and was completely sidelined from training. By the final year leading up to Paris, I had to face the truth. The Olympic dream was over. It's official. I've completely put this dream to rest. Letting go of that dream was devastating. I felt like I lost a piece of myself and I was questioning myself, like, who was I without track? Was all that for nothing? But here's the thing about hitting rock bottom. It forces you to look at everything differently. And slowly, I started to see the amazing things this experience had left me. First, I met some of the most incredible people through track. Friends who pushed me, supported me, and became like family. Rivals who turned into friends that I can count on. Those relationships are just priceless. Second, track taught me how to keep going no matter how tough things got. I was injured for a year and a half, and there were so many times where I was this close to giving up. I just kept pushing through. Now I know how to listen to my body and figure out what's wrong when something feels off. Career-wise, it opened doors I never could have imagined. I got to work with brands like Samsung, TELUS, Philips, Nando's, the list goes on. And I was even on Family Feud with my cousins, which was a fantastic experience. Finally, one of the best things to come out of this journey was moving to a new city and starting fresh. I was a bit nervous at first, but it ended up being one of the greatest decisions I've ever made. I built new friendships, met my girlfriend, and realized there's so much more to life than the one goal I once thought defined me. The reason I'm sharing this is because sometimes we fail, and it feels like we've lost everything, like it's the end, but it's not. It can be the beginning of something you didn't even realize you needed. By the way, I couldn't have done it without the incredible support of so many people along the way, such as my coaches, therapists, trainers, family, friends, you guys. Thank you so much for being part of my journey. Now, if you've ever had a dream that didn't work out, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. Let's talk about the positives that we discovered along the way so that anyone going through something similar can find a bit of hope.